Okay, there we go. Hello everyone, and welcome to another one of my vlogs. I really feel like I've been doing a lot of these lately, and I'm trying to not just pull out any random old reason to do a vlog. But, you know, it's just so easy, because there's so many things to geek out about these days. It's funny, because people are like, games these days aren't cool. I'm like, have you looked at some of the things that are coming out, and some of the things that have come out? And I'm like, you know, sure, there's some games that have lost their luster, like, Skyrim isn't as fun as Oblivion, which some people claimed Oblivion wasn't as fun as the older games, I have to say. I think the simplifications in Oblivion were actually an improvement, but maybe that's because I'm lazy. I don't know. Literally walking everywhere when your stamina bar sucks ass in Elder Scrolls 3 is such a pain. It's like, sure, I know I'm gonna level this up, but it's gonna get better, and I've actually leveled up to the point where it's decent, but, you know, at the very beginning of the game, I'm like, my character is so useless. I know, the point is I'm building up my character, and he's gonna be awesome later, but, you know, starts out, anyways, So no, I think things right now are really cool with what's going on. Oh, also, I'm wearing my Alone in the Dark shirt. I'm aware this game sucks. The original game didn't suck, however, and my friend got it to me. I'm like, the shirt still looks pretty awesome, I think, but the game sucks. Not the newest Alone in the Dark game. You'll probably know that, though, and I'm not here to review Alone in the Dark. I'm here, really delayed, I'm here to geek out over Disgaea, because, yes, they, and NIS America, those incredibly sexy people, well, NIS America's bringing it here, NIS making another Disgaea game, Disgaea D2, for the PS3, and it's coming here, like, soon, and probably most of you who are super freaking into Disgaea already know this. I'm a dork. Ironically, I already knew this, I just didn't know it that much, because it's those things that were in the back of my mind, but last time I actually looked into it was a while off, and they haven't, like usual, they aren't really doing huge advertising campaigns. I'm kind of hoping that advertising's gonna be awesome like it was for Disgaea 4. If anyone remembers the American Disgaea 4 trailer, that thing was badass. Literally, almost everyone I showed it to was like, wow, I kind of want to play Disgaea 4 now. I kind of play some of the other Disgaeas now. I'm like, yeah, you should. Cause it'll make you feel better. And it's a man's, RPG. Level 9,999 right there. Oh god, it's admittedly the only issue with this. You know, I actually might turn on my fan. I was like, that's gonna be a distraction. And I'm like, it's Arizona. I don't care if it's a distraction. It's too hot, to not have a fan. And I'm going to die. You know, so I'm sure all of you would understand. I turned this on over here, and yes. Hopefully, yeah. Wasn't too much of an issue. I probably should have just started with that on. I don't think I'm gonna edit this. I could be like, yo, just here, I'm gonna edit this out. It really wasn't that big of a deal. But no, it's just a vlog, it's not that big of a deal, in my opinion anyways. You know, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal unless I was like, hey, you know this famous person, I wish they were dead. Wish they were all dead now. But no, I can't think of anyone particular right now to be like, oh man, I hate that guy. Let's see. Except Robert. But I'm not gonna go there. Yeah, so Disgaea. Badass. So freaking amazing. And anyone who has heard of Disgaea should go just look up Disgaea D2. You should find the opening cinematic, which is amazing. It has nothing to do with like the actual gameplay. Also, if you go to the NIS America website, you can find the Japanese trailer, and you can find the website with all of the info. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. And I don't know what else to say about it. It's Disgaea, it's gonna be awesome. It's for those of you who haven't done that, I'd also recommend looking into Disgaea. I'd probably recommend, especially since this one is a sequel, I'd recommend getting like the first Disgaea, or if you own, say, a PSP or a DS, getting one of the remakes. I heard the DS remake's okay, though it does have a versus system, which is interesting. You know, if you happen to have other friends who are into Disgaea, who also have a DS, I'm like, that's cool. I didn't, so it's like, I don't need to get the DS version. I got the PSP version just because, well, I already had the console version, but I was like, you know, I can see the little extra things that they put in. I never actually played it that much, though, because I already beat the console version. I was like, well, yeah. I'm not that much of a completionist where I'll go and replay Disgaea again, because it takes a lot of doing. But I still love it. I mean, I've beaten all 4 of the main console games. Yeah. And they're all amazing. They're great. And they're hilarious. So just, I don't know. If you're not a Disgaea fan, I would recommend it. If you are a Disgaea fan, well, you already know level 9,999, the ridiculously overpowered awesome attacks, the cool things, like the things from the originals and the things they added in, like the magic change system, which at first, the Disgaea 3, my only complaint was that the magic change system, in my opinion, was overcomplicated, and they fixed that so hard in Disgaea 4. Because Disgaea 3, it was just a lot of setup, and you could technically still do it, but you had to, like, have your character next to someone else's seat, and I think they also had to be in the same club, and it was all this ridiculous stuff that had nothing to do with, you know, your actual, yeah, actually doing that. So it was just ridiculous. Hopefully, oh, by the way, hopefully my fan's not too distracting, and hopefully me getting up to change to fix that was not too distracting. Probably wasn't very flattering. I need to work out more. Anyways. Yes. So, what was I saying? I don't know. Disgaea is amazing. Strategy RPG, it's turn-based, so, yeah, you know, moving people around. So, I guess if you're not into strategy RPGs, that's about the only time I wouldn't recommend it, is if you don't like the grid system. I personally really like it. You know, I think it's perfect for anyone who says, oh, RPGs don't have enough strategy in them, they're all just stat building, which is a little ironic, because at the same time, Disgaea is huge into the stat building, because, like I said, level 9,999, there's so much leveling, so much equipment gets, just so much everything. there's the item world for those people who don't mind things like that. The item world is the only thing, and I think a lot of people love it. It's like the only thing that I never sat down and really did a lot with. I've played it some in every game, but it's nothing I've done a lot in every game, just because of how lengthy it is. How, every time you go into an item world, it's like, you gotta beat 10 levels, or have this item, and it's this big endurance test on all your characters and stuff, and I'm like, it's cool, it's a neat idea, and it is itself, it's cool, it's just time-consuming, and I usually find myself getting less excited once I start getting, like halfway through the many floors I need to get through. I'm like, man, these items are so huge. But, that's just my opinion. And one of my favorite things about Disgaea is always the story, so that might be one of the reasons, because doing that many battles without the story just isn't as rewarding for me. I like the game, and I like the battle system, and I like everything, but just sitting down between everything and hearing, every new mission and hearing what everyone has to say is just always fun. It's, I like it. I even liked it in Disgaea 4, which, I love Disgaea 4. It probably has my favorite system for a lot of stuff. But by far, Disgaea 4 has the worst story. Well, and by that, I at least mean the worst comedy. The story probably wasn't actually bad. I liked the main character, I liked a lot of the side characters. They just didn't get as many laughs from me as all the other Disgaea games did. But it's still good. And I'd still recommend it. The only reason I'd right now recommend, if you haven't played Disgaea, to play the first one is because the Disgaea D2 is called that because it is a direct sequel to the first Disgaea. As where Disgaea, it doesn't really normally work like Final Fantasy because it's a big, complicated world, and in fact, most Disgaea games since the first one, in fact, I think every Disgaea game since the first one, you can unlock other Disgaea characters in the new game. Like with Disgaea 2, you can unlock Laharl, and Etna's actually a character you normally get, and, the Flan, of course, because everyone loves Flan. And yeah, all of that stuff. And then they just keep going backwards with everyone, so, which sounds weird, but not in a bad way. Like Disgaea 3, you can unlock. I'm pretty sure at some point you can unlock Adele, and you can probably still unlock Laharl and stuff, and I don't know. I usually don't end up going back and unlocking all the characters. Yeah, it's that's one of those really high level end game kind of thing. Like, not end game, not like level 9,999, but like I forget what level Laharl was in the second one. I just know he always kicked my ass, and I was like, I don't think I have the ability to sit down and beef up my characters until I can do this. But that's the neat thing about this guy, because I can still enjoy the game, even though I'm sure there's a lot of people who criticize me for not getting all the end game content, but I love the series because you don't have to. There's that, you can sit down and you can play, like, to the finish of the game, start to finish, and you'll still have had a good experience. even if you don't afterwards proceed to sit down and play another 50 hours to beef up your characters and do side dungeons and stuff. You know, if you just sit down and you want to play the main story, Disgaea will accommodate you. It won't be like, oh, do you have to do side content? Oh, it's so that's like I said, I like that about this series. I think that's a good thing. So yeah, Disgaea 1 I'd recommend just for best, probably one of my favorite stories, one of my favorite main characters. And like I said, there's the new one of those coming out, the sequel to that coming out. If you played Disgaea 1, or you just for whatever reason don't want to pick it up, I'd recommend Disgaea 4 actually. Because I think it has the best sprites, the best system. It still has a pretty good story, and oh yeah, and the special edition. If you can, I don't know. I forget if it was limited or not, but if you can still get the special edition, it's pretty badass. You get a character figurine, you get a an art book and all that stuff, and I love how they did that, because it actually, Disgaea 4 was cheaper than games normally would be, and then the special edition was on price with how games normally would be. Because Disgaea 4 was a little more budget, which is kind of weird. I'm not really sure why that happened, but I was like, well, whatever, I love Disgaea, I'll pay full price for a few extra items. It's certainly worth the price of admittance and then the extra stuff. I should have had this stuff here just so I could show everyone. But there's plenty of unboxing videos and stuff if you just want to see what the little Fuka, I think her name is, little figurine, and there's an art book, like I said, and there might be something else I forget. You of course get the box, which has a really awesome cover that's different from the actual game cover, both of which look pretty awesome. And yeah, I don't know if I have a lot else to say about it. It is an amazing series. I love the Disgaea series, and they're making a new game, and they're making a new game about the first one, which, like I said, I think the first one had my favorite characters. Laharl, the great Prince Laharl, is the best. That guy, he's the best. I don't know what to say about him. He's just such a cool character. In one of those ironic ways too, because he's not a cool character. At least he's like in the story, you know. Obviously, everyone's making fun of him and stuff. It's this guy, everything's a comedy. But then he's such a badass. He's like, especially in the gameplay, tweaking all of his moves. I think he had some of my favorite moves, like specialized moves, out of the main characters. Yeah, though all the main characters always have really badass moves. I can't say for sure if his was the most badass. He's just a cool character, and I like him. And yeah, he's the great Prince Laharl, and he's a demon, and everyone watching this should probably know this, maybe. I don't know. Unless you're watching this and you're like, I want to play Disgaea now, and I'm like, great. If you're watching this and you're like, well, I don't really want to play Disgaea, I am surprised you're still watching this, but hey, you know, if you want to still watch this, that's fine. Adele was also one of my, you know, up there characters, because he was awesome, and I don't know if he was supposed to be awesome or not. He was just, you know, I'm like, that character's so awesome. Just the whole, you know, fighting fair and everything, and I don't know. He's a true champion of justice, Which is ironic, because my two favorite characters are pretty much the most opposite. Then again, Adele's probably the most opposite of any character in the entire Disgaea series, main character-wise. Because, I don't spoil the story or anything, but I will go ahead and say from the start of the game, he is the only character, the only main character that you ever have that isn't like a straight up demon. That's not spoilers. They never try to hide it or anything with any of the other characters. Laharl is you know, he's the prince of demon of you know, his dad's the big demon guy who was assassinated. And then the third game, your dad is, once again, you're the son of an overlord, and then the fourth game, you're a vampire, which, well, yeah, he's still a demon. He's just a vampire, but demons in Disgaea seem to get, like, a larger, radius. Let's see, time-wise, okay, we're fine. They'll probably cut soon, because I've said anything about it, almost everything, but yeah, Disgaea demons seem to have, like, a larger radius of what demons are. So I'm pretty sure things like vampires still count as demons. You know, succubuses are, of course, demons. There's a lot of things that don't really look like demons that still count. I'm pretty sure, like the warriors and all that stuff, that just, they look like dudes. But I think according to Disgaea 2, there's still demons. And yeah, and then there's just like more monstery type demons. Like there's these big hulking demons with horns and have a cannon for an arm. And they're one of the cooler enemies / allies you'll encounter. Admittedly, I don't usually use them, but they're still cool. I usually end up going with the gunner character if I go with a ranged ally like that. Who's another more humanoid-looking demon, but he has a gun and they have a lot of cool specialized attacks. Unless, of course, I already have one of those with my main character cast. That's something about Disgaea. You'll have your main character cast, and they'll all be offshoots of something that is already a main class. They'll just be better because they're a main character. So you always want to make sure to level up your main characters to whatever. Occasionally there'll be something that isn't exactly already a class. Like if they're a monster, they won't be something that would already be characterized as a class. But besides that, like Laharl is, you know, he's basically, he has a lot of the moves that the swords guy would have because he uses a sword. So you have the warrior, and Laharl's just a stronger version of that, except he's the main character, so he has better stats, and he has his own specialized moves, like every main character does in any Disgaea game. So, yeah. Pro tip, if you're playing Disgaea, always make sure to keep all your main characters leveled. Even if you get a new main character, and you already have a pretty full party, I'd say just swap them out for one you're currently using, unless it's really late game and you're just really attached to your current party. Yeah. Because I know I actually used to. I used to pick and choose with my main characters. Like in Disgaea 2, when I first played it, I didn't use Tink. I was like, psh, Tink's such a bitch. I hate that guy. He's funny as hell in cutscenes, but I hate that guy. It's such a douchebag. And then I went back and started playing Disgaea 2 on the PSP, because I also got that on the PSP, and I was like, you know, Tink is really useful. I don't hate him anymore. he has like the biggest movement range of any character. he can move through enemy characters as well, so he can like move so far on the map, and I'm like, that is pretty ridiculous. That's actually really, really useful. Like, if you want to reach that you know, that mage over there without expending a whole bunch of throwing moves, or, you know, without drawing the full attention of your ranged characters. You know, you just send Tink over and be like, go beat up that thing over there, while everyone else focuses on these things. Or, you know, whatever. I find it really useful. Yeah. So, that's that. So Disgaea, you know, I would recommend it all the thumbs up. And several things that are up. According to Disgaea 2, actually, it will probably get your boner up. But, you know, yeah, boner. But, that's your opinion on the game. The Disgaea 4 trailer is so great. So, yes. I just, that is the best. Your manliest fantasies. I'm not sure if I can link this stuff in my video or not. I may or may not link some stuff in the video, like the NIS website and stuff. If I don't, I just recommend, you know, it's super easy to find if you just look up, like, NIS America, or if you look up, Disgaea, you'll find tons of stuff. And then Disgaea D2, you know, anything by name. Just, yeah, anything you wanna find. So if you wanna find information on any of the Disgaea games, you can just Google it, and bam, it's, you know, yeah. And, that might be all I want to say about it, because I've just been fangasming about Disgaea for a while, but the games deserve it, I would say. You know, some people might disagree. I've never heard of anyone who's played Disgaea and disliked it, but I'm sure there's some people, maybe, I don't know. My biggest thought on that would be, like, you probably don't like RPGs, do you? I think that'd be the main way. But, you know, I assume there's some people who'd be uppity. Probably anyone who's particularly religious might be. I'd say that's a long shot. My grandpa, you know, he's old, he's, you know, he's religious, I won't get too much into that, but, he likes the Disgaea games. He doesn't play them, but he'll sit down and he'll look at a trailer, or he'll watch me play the Disgaea games for a little bit if he just happens to be in the room, and he laughs at them. He likes them, you know, he finds them amusing. He doesn't seem to be like, oh man, that's so wrong. It's clearly a comedy game, you know. It's not trying to say this is how demons work and this is how angels. No, it's a comedy game. It just happens. It's like, you know, it's just like angels and demons, all that stuff just happen to be a great setting for it. And I have to agree. I'm like, I love the setting. Which is funny, because the only complaint I've heard about Disgaea 2 is they didn't like the setting as well. Because it's the only game you don't really play a demon. So you're not really always in the underworld and all that stuff. And I still really liked it. I just thought it was a nice little change. And right after that, they went back to the underworld. But every game, they kind of change up how things work, and I like that. Especially because the game has one of those great excuses of basically just having a giant, like, multiverse. So, you know, there's all these things going on, and it just makes sense, because you're dealing with, multiverse stuff, so, maybe it does make sense. But the other thing is it's a comedy game, so usually I'll give the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, you don't have to explain everything. It's supposed to be funny. I'd rather, I'd rather sit, and it's supposed to be fun. I'd rather sit down and enjoy everything rather than them trying to be like, this is how multiverses work. It's like, no, it's just multiverses, it's demons, it's magic. How much explanation do you want? Do you want magic, or do you want a long, lengthy scientific explanation every time someone opens their mouth? Personally, for a game like Disgaea, I want magic. I want magic, and I want demons, I want angels, I want swords, and explosions, and cool stuff. And that's what the games are. They're swords, and explosions, and demons, and angels, and cool stuff. And level 9,999. Yeah. That's one of those ideas that I'm like, even if you never accomplish that, just let that sink into your mind what that looks like. And then you probably want to go look up a Disgaea clip, maybe. Admittedly, Disgaea is one of those games, it's one of those games I've considered doing Let's Play over. I still might kind of sometime, but I don't think I will, just because it's one of those games that I don't think I could truly show what the game is in a Let's Play. Sure, I could show you all me having fun with it, and if anyone's interested, I'll look into trying to Let's Play it. But, it's amazing, and it's one of those games that I personally think to have the best experience with, you gotta experience for yourself. I mean, sure, the story's still great, and a lot of stuff, but the satisfaction of battling when you're high level, the satisfaction of once you breach that level 100 and you start getting just ridiculous, every battle starts getting more and more ridiculous. It's a little hard to explain, because, if you're watching a video, you probably haven't earned it. I don't know. If admittedly, you've been watching for a long time, if you saw me get all the way up to level 100 plus, but yeah. Anyways, so I've been ranting for a while. I'm not gonna cut this video in any way, I don't think, so it's probably going to be a decently length video, though not too bad. So, that might be the end of what I was trying to say. Yeah, I'll probably end it with that. So, I would like to apologize for my last vlog. My last vlog was pretty bad. I didn't really like it. It wasn't very good. I'll probably leave it up because it's still information. Like half the vlog is useless. But the information about my sister and Robert leaving my YouTube channel is important. And, but that whole thing with my friend was silly. I still don't really want to go into that. But rest assured, me and them, we made up. We're tight. They're incredibly sexy. I don't know. And, yeah. Yeah, that's probably all I'll have to say about it. I feel bad for what I said on the other video, actually, but, I was actually considering doing a whole revisit and just taking that one down. I'm probably not going to. I might end up stopping lazy and just be like, you know what, that was so absolutely useless. I'm just gonna take it down. It was like a half hour of information. It's like, what are you gonna do with this? But whatever. This one is like a half hour of me being like, this guy is sexy. And the best game ever, and you should probably play it. Disgaea, I won't say it's my favorite game, though it's kind of up there. But at the very least, it is my favorite series. Like I said, I have beaten all of the main console games, and I'm still playing the PSP version. I have my PSP over there, which you can't see. I could grab it. I'm not going to. It's a PSP. What do you expect? You know what? Fine. Just because I said that, I will grab it. Look, it's a PSP. It's a very nice PSP. It needs a little dusting off. Oh, also, so you all know, I don't normally do this with my chair, but I'm like, you know what, right now, I'm doing a video thing, and I don't really feel like, oh hey, watch me stand up out of my chair while I go move around. I'm like, no, I can actually just slide my chair around. I don't think it'll explode anything, while I'm doing a video, probably, you know. So, I literally think I'm out of things to say. So, don't worry, I'll try to stop vlogging as much as I do, but I'll probably still vlog, like, once every few weeks or something. I don't know. I don't think that everyone needs a vlog, because my status doesn't change that much, with stuff, and when my status does change, I usually don't feel like being like, oh hey everyone, guess what? My puppy just died. No, yeah. Yeah, and obviously I'm not gonna be like, I'm Batman, if I was actually Batman. No, yeah. So, what, I don't know what I'd say about actually me. Then again, I'm fantastic. About Disgaea, so I guess I am saying something about me, which is that I love Disgaea, and, it is a series that will come up a lot, and it's something, that I will probably, I'll probably come back and talk about more later, maybe when the new Disgaea game is out, and if anyone's ever like, you should play Disgaea, I'll be like, maybe. Oh yeah, someone was like, you should play The Secret of Mana, and I was like, if we could get the emulator, to run multiplayer, maybe. The issue is that me and Zapair don't live in the same location, and, so we'd have to find a way to play it over the internet, which I'm sure some people could easily, but, it takes a lot of playing around with internet stuff and things, and so it's not that easy playing a single player game over the internet. But, at some point, I'm sure it'll be a thing that we can do, and if it ever is, we will probably play The Secret of Mana. We will for sure play The Legend of Mana, because it's my favorite of that series, but that is another video. This has been going on for a while. So, thank you all for watching. I love you all. You are a great audience, and, I'll see y'all next time.